Let's talk about Zion Williamson. He's a player who's been proven to be a transcendent talent based on the little time we've seen him play in both college and the NBA. Though limited, he seems to be living up to his potential, or at least he is for now. But the difference between a fast start and a slow finish is mighty. That is why some are questioning whether he will truly last in the world of the NBA. Allow us to show you some of these reactions. Be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Number 5, his rookie year. I'm sure some of you are already yelling at the screen saying, Zion Williamson isn't even out of his rookie year. How can you go and blast him for not being a success already? That's what we're saying. We're saying that he may not last in the NBA, as in have a long and fulfilling career like most players want. And if you want any proof of this being a true possibility, all you have to do is look at his rookie season. Without a doubt, Zion Williamson is one of the most hyped NBA draft picks in history. Some even likened his rise to the NBA to be along the path of LeBron James. Though it should be noted that James skipped college to go right to the NBA, while Zion had to play a year at Duke, because they were both considered superstars before they ever stepped foot on the pro level. But unlike LeBron, Zion Williamson didn't start off on the best note. Not because he didn't play well, but because he didn't play. Despite being the number 1 draft pick, he had an injury that occurred that led him to not playing until January 2020, which was months after the NBA season began. Now sure, the team was playing it cautious because this was their franchise basically, but the truth stands, he was hurt and he missed serious playing time. If this were to happen across his whole career, then it wouldn't be a long one because he wouldn't be worth the risk. And why were the Pelicans being so careful? Because they know just how problematic freakishly large players can be at times. Number 4, big men, big injuries. Look at the history of the NBA and think about some of the big men that truly filled up its ranks. Men like Shaq, Patrick Ewing, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and so on and so forth. It's easy to think of big men like them and go, oh, big men will always be long-lasting in the NBA. Except that's not exactly true. In fact, the NBA has a long history of big men coming into the NBA and having very short careers, or not living up to their potential. Just because they're tall and how potential doesn't mean they fulfill it. A great example is Greg Oden. He was a big man from Ohio State and was set to have a great career. Instead, he went and had a career full of injuries that took him from one team to another. Or how Hassim Tebet, he was a big man that many felt would dominate the league, but he too got injured and didn't play to his potential when he was fixed up. Even small men don't always get a good break. Like with Derrick Rose, he went from MVP to role player because of injuries to his legs. Yes, Zion Williamson is a freak of nature in terms of his build, but sometimes that can cost you because you're slamming all that weight on a frame that may not be able to handle it. Could Zion? Sure, with enough training, but as his rookie year showed, all it takes is one severe injury and you're out for months. Zion has to be constantly monitoring what he does with his body, else wind up on the bench and no good to anyone. Number 3, he already has a history of injuries. You still might be thinking that we're overstating things, but let's be clear here. What happened to Zion before he went to the NBA was not his only injury. In fact, his first major one happened on national TV via the Duck-UNC game. It was easily one of the most hyped matches in between the two, but because of a shoe malfunction, Zion twisted his knee and was out of the game and almost out of the season. Now yes, he did come back and play in the NCAA tournament, but many were already fearing that Zion could break again. That would hurt his NBA prospects. Luckily that didn't happen, but luck only goes so far, and the NBA has shown via many players that one bad foot placement, one bad knee twerk is all it takes for an injury to happen. When you already have a series of injuries, that's not a good look. Number 2, shooting ability versus dunking ability. If you were to ask someone how they knew about Zion Williamson, you'd likely hear about how he has YouTube videos of him doing some sick dunks on people. And indeed, that is his trademark. He's a seriously good dunker, and whether in college or the NBA, many people came just to see Zion Williamson dunk. But you can't just rely on that in the NBA. Dunks are still welcome, but they aren't the only thing you can do. Many have noted that while Zion is a presence in the paint, he needs more shooting ability to truly last. Shaq, Kareem, and the other legendary big men had more than just dunks going for them. If Zion doesn't boost his game beyond what he has, he'll be a one-note player, and that is not something he wants. Number 1. He can't do it alone. While this won't hurt his longevity per se, it will hurt his playing ability. As modern NBA teams have shown, a great player on a bad team is not going to win the NBA title. Numerous rookies have found their careers shortened or made less worthy because of being on a bad NBA team that didn't improve. With modern NBA rules, many are literally waiting to opt out of their contracts and hit free agencies to try to get to a better team. The New Orleans Pelicans literally had this happen to them in a way with their previous big man, Anthony Davis. He was a freak of nature too, and also suffered injuries at points. But he was still a dominant presence. But it wasn't enough to lift the Pelicans up, so he wanted out. The Los Angeles Lakers literally traded like half their team and some draft picks in order to get Davis. With Zion, it could be the same thing here. The Pelicans aren't good, and even with Zion, victory was proven to not be assured. So depending on how things play out in the next few seasons, Zion might not last long, because he'll be wanting to get to a team where he can actually do something good. And there you have it, a look at Zion Williamson and whether he'll make it in the league both in terms of success and in terms of longevity. Where do you stand on this issue? Do you think he'll be able to make it work, or do you think he won't last like some think? Let us know in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you next time on the channel.